Welcome, Tricia. Really nice to have you here with me today. You're welcome. I look forward to chatting to you. Just to sort of segue our way into this nicely, may I ask you a question? What do Leap Leadership actually do?
We provide support to organizations to implement change. And the change is at a personal level and an organizational level. So at a personal level, the change we're looking at is change in behaviors. So it could be a team member. How do I change my performance so I can add greater value? It might be at a management level. How do I change what I do so I've transitioned from being a team member into a manager? It can be at an organizational level. So what are some of the lean practices that we could implement to ensure that our systems and our processes are as effective as possible for our organization? So I suppose really that's what I mean when I say about, change. We're there to support organizations to drive that change, to ensure that what they want to do, the next level for them, that they're equipped to do so, both in terms of employees and systems and processes.
Very good, excellent. And tell me, I'm curious, how did you end up in this business?
I did qualify as a teacher, initially secondary school teaching, and that was, it was here in Ireland, down in County Cork. And I moved over to the States for experience, and I taught over there at a younger age. You're not paid very well. So I moved out of teaching and I got involved in training and development. And I really felt I found my niche with regard to training and development. And I had the opportunity to go and do a master's in training and development with Lesley College there in Cambridge. And that opened my eyes. I realized that, this is what I like doing. It was kind of aligned to teaching, which was my professional qualification, but it was just bigger kids. So once I had done that qualification and I was training and development and doing it for a number of years, Ireland started getting to the boom again. And after 11 years in the States, I decided, hey, it's a good time to come home. And when I came back to Ireland, I had the good fortune to work with Nortel Networks, where I met my colleague, Mike. And we got involved in a project that was a really clever project, because at the time it was very hard to get engineers to travel west of the Shannon. So large organizations in Galway, like the Nortel Networks, really were struggling to get the people they needed in order for the business to grow. So I got involved with the project with Mike and senior management there to try and address this issue of how do we use internal staff and maybe train them up so that they're able to move gradually into an engineering role if it's right, or a more technical job. Out of that process, there was a couple of learnings that I got. First of all, my relationship in terms of work with Mike worked really well. We worked very well on this project, and we realized there was something here that we could do, and that's why I went and started Leap. And then secondly, I realized that actually training and development can have a huge impact if you can structure it the right way, and if you can engage people in the right manner, which was a complex program. We had a number of aspects. We use psychometric tools to support individuals to identify the right people, to help them to figure out, is this the right migration for me? Training and development really can have an impact when it's structured right and you get the right people and engage them properly and engage the learners. So that's the reason why I got involved in training and development.
What does an ideal client look like for you? I mean, the people you work with, give me a sense of the kind of organizations you work with, or the kind of clients that you have.
The common thread that would run through all of our clients, because our clients would range from the SME to the very large organizations, the multinationals, and we would be in public sector as well as private sector. The common thread is that I think at a decision-making level, there's some pain or frustration that somebody wants to sort out and address. They recognize that there's an ability for the organization to move forward, but they're not exactly clear, how do we do that and how can we do that? They have broad strokes and they have an idea, but the detail of exactly how to make that happen is missing. And I said, well, then what we do is we come in, we sit, we listen, which is really important, and then try to interpret what they're saying and get a sense of it. And together then we work out what's the plan of action. So sometimes it can be, okay, it's straightforward, it's a training and development plan. That's what we need to do. Sometimes it's more complex, there's different layers and there's different aspects that have to be included in it.
That sort of leads into what value do you feel you create, or perhaps what value do clients tell you that you bring to them?
We would say that we would measure our success on impact. Do our programs, do our interventions with the client have an impact? If the answer is yes, then we know we've been successful. And how we look at impact is in terms of change of behaviors. So have there been a change in behaviors, and in what way the behaviors changed? Then we know we've had an impact. I'm very fortunate to work with a team of really good professionals who've got experience in industry, who've got knowledge in training and development. They understand how people learn and are passionate about what they want to do. The TTI tools are hugely important to us. I often say to learners in our training sessions that I want you to think about yourselves as like a three-legged stool. And it's the three legs that have to all be working together, and they all have to be firm and strong, because that's the strongest. You know, the triangle is such a strong shape. The three-legged stool is so strong. So one leg is around, you know, the technical knowledge and experience in their role. They need to have that. The second leg is they need the experience of working with others, knowing how to work effectively with people. That's your TTI tool. That's the tools that will help you understand that element. And the TTI tools will help you with the third leg of the stool. And the third leg of the stool is knowing your own natural strengths and how to play to them. So 2 out of 3 of those legs on that stool, the TTI tools, we have found have been extremely invaluable, and our clients have found them invaluable. There is nothing like a little bit of insight. There's nothing like a little bit of that knowledge. Light bulbs going off and seeing, okay, now I get it. Now I understand, how I'm working really well with an individual, or now I understand why I'm not working as effectively with somebody. And very often it's small changes I can make that can enhance that working relationship. And then I remind people, because, you know, most of us go to work every day wanting to do the best job we can, minimum amount of stress, and get on with our lives. And the tools can facilitate that if we allow them and take it on board. And then the tool that helps with the third leg, which is about the strengths. They identify, what are you naturally very good at? What is it that feels comfortable that you can do your job with that experience and the knowledge and the skills needed? How can you do that in a way that's very comfortable for you? So you do your job really brilliantly, and you get on with life and you enjoy life.
This idea of language and the tools bringing language, can you maybe explore that a little bit for me?
Yeah, well, I agree with you that a lot of the times we know ourselves, but it's very deep. We know what's kind of going on there, but we don't have that language. We don't have the tools to bring it out. So when somebody completes an assessment and they get a report, to be able to see clearly in black and white, this is now making sense to me. Now I understand me better. Now I know what's happening here. And that is the language. I now can have a conversation with whoever the other person can be. So it might be with my manager to talk a little bit about what can I do, you know, maybe to move to the next level, to explore, to grab new opportunities, or maybe it's simply so that I can do my job as brilliantly as possible. Yeah. I now have the language. And with the detail that you get in the reports, you know, the sections in it that are so valuable, like ways to communicate and not communicate, like that's invaluable for somebody to be able to sit down and say, now I understand why I work so well with that other person. They speak to me in this way, and why I'm struggling in my relationship with that other person.
You mentioned strengths earlier, and you and I have talked many times about strengths, and we believe fundamentally in the idea of building on your strengths. But of course, most people don't know what their strengths are, and that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it really is about focusing on their strengths. It's not saying these are your weaknesses, we need to constantly work on those, but no, maximize your strengths. And your weaknesses, you've got to manage around, you've got to find ways around them. But if you maximize your strength, you're going to enjoy your job more. So if you're enjoying your job more, you're probably going to be more productive, you're going to be more effective, etc. So the cycle kind of continues. You go round and round, you're getting better and better and better and stronger at it.
Thank you very much, Tricia. I really appreciate you giving me 10 minutes of your time. I wish the very best with LEAP, and I wish you the very best in the future.